Welcome to Friday Fuel.
What's up? What's up? Hey guys, welcome to Friday Fuel. It's a great day to have a great day and finish off the week strong, and we are here to help you with that. My name is Collin Bingham, and I will be your host today alongside my boys, Alexander Sala, there in the bottom left,
Let's go.
Lindsay in the top left, and then the one and only Donald Peel right below me. So we just want to get right into it today. We're going to be talking about goals. So first off, we'll talk about why are goals important to your success, how to set your goals, the best processes on how to achieve them, and most important, in my opinion, the why behind them. So one of the reasons we wanted to talk about goals today is because of 8%. For those of you who had the privilege to attend 8%, put it in the chat who was your favorite speaker. But for those of you who didn't go, one of the speakers was Carlos Boozer. He played in the NBA for a long time, played with a bunch of great players. He's a great player. But he told a story about Kobe Bryant. Back in 2008, the USA men's basketball team set out to redeem themselves from losing the Olympics the last time they were there. So they had lost the prior Olympics and set out to redeem themselves. They called themselves the Redeem Team. And Carlos told a story that during one of their training camps in Vegas, him and the majority of the team, went out because it was Vegas and stayed out all night partying and didn't get back until the hotel till about 4 a.m. And when they were getting back, they stayed out all night. And when they were getting back, they were, getting to the elevator and they saw Kobe walking out. And they're like, yo, Kobe, like, why didn't you come out with us? Where are you going? He just kept walking. He said, I got goals. And they, kind of stopped and like, got goals. So they, were talking to each other and was like, you got goals? And they're like, yeah, I got goals. So that moment just kind of changed them. Seeing Kobe getting after it, and the next night / morning, instead of going out, they all went and played with Kobe and really got laser focused. And the rest is history. They went out and won that 2008 Olympics. So Alex, Donnie, Adam, I know you all got goals, so let's talk about your processes and systems. So Alexander, first, let's start with you, man. Why are goals important to you and your success in your business?
Yeah, man. Real quick, if you can, please, for all the Facebook users out there, please let StreamYard view your comments.
Yes.
We can put that link up here. There we go. Yeah, let StreamYard view your comments. We can see who's commenting. Yeah. But I mean, goals are so important, Collin. I mean, I'll just start off. If you're not a goal-oriented person, I don't think that you're going to be really successful. I mean, you got to set up things and dreams for your future, right? So like a goal I have is by the time I'm 22, 23, I want to be an agency owner and have at least a minimum of 200 agents under me.
Heck yeah, dude.
Yeah. So that's one goal I have for myself, and I am continuing to keep working to that goal every single day and as hard as I can and as much as I can. And one thing I would mention is like for a weekly goal, right? If you're a starting agent and let's say you want to make $2,000, right? And you're a starting agent, just learning the business, trying to, just adapt to it, get your feet wet, One piece of advice I could give you is you don't need to do anything until you hit that goal. So for example, if you're a field agent, you're booking 2 days out of the week, going out in the field 3. If you're just a dialing agent over the phone remote, you are dialing every single day and closing as much business as you can until you hit that $2,000, right?
Yep.
And that's why I think being goal oriented is so powerful, because if you can change your mindset and the way you think, right, about your goal, and that there's nothing else going on until you hit that goal, that's really the standalone thing for me when it comes around goals.
Let's go, dude. So question for you, said, so by what age do you want to have that 200 agents and be an agency owner?
Yeah. So agency owner by at least 23, man. That's my number one goal. I mean, I'm working hard to that every day, and then at least 200 agents by the time I'm 23 as well.
And how old are you now? Like 16?
he just turned 17. So do you have like benchmarks? So yeah, you're young. do you have benchmarks that it's like, hey, dude, it's 2023. By then to 2023, I want to have, this much production and like help this many agents reach their goals as well?
By the end of 2023, I would love to have at least 25 agents under me.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
And of course, you've got systems that you're working. I know you're working with Cody Askins,
Cody,
his leads.
Dude, those are money, bro. I love them. So, I'm gonna
awesome.
continue. Yeah, I'm gonna continue to keep working those leads because I mean they're treating me really well, and it's going good. So I'm just trying to. It's one step at a time. I love looking into the future. It stresses me out even sometimes. I was talking with my dad about it yesterday. I was like, Dad, man, I am stressing out about the future. He's like, dude, why are you stressing out? I was like, dude, I just want to be so well off. I don't want to think 2 years from now and let's say 4 or 5. I know it's crazy, right? And I think 4 to 5 years from now, like let's say when I have a possible family, right, with the wife, kids, whatever it is, I want to make sure that I'm financially free and we don't have one stress in the world. We can do whatever we want, whenever we want, right? Yes, and that's the level I stress about. I feel, and I was explaining, I was like, that stress at a level is good because it's gonna continue to keep making me work even harder to reach that goal, right?
Yeah.
So that's kind of my mindset about the whole goal thing.
That's awesome. Thanks, man. Adam, I know I've been, we're friends on Facebook, obviously, and Instagram. Yeah. You've been posting an awful lot about 75 hard, and those are daily goals that you got to hit.
Right.
And so is there a system and process that you have set up to make sure that you're doing those things, and maybe tell the audience a little bit about what 75 hard is and how that's been going for you?
Yeah. So 75 hard, more than just a fitness program. I think it's more meant to be a mental toughness program.
Absolutely.
But basically what it is for 75 days, you have to do a set number of tasks every single day. And if you miss one of those tasks, then you have to start back over at day 1. Right.
Yeah.
So
got him, Joe.
Okay, Joe.
Got him.
We see you, bro. We see you.
Got him. What's up, Brian?
So when you mess up one of the tasks, you have to start back over at day 1. So these tasks include 2 45-minute workouts every single day. One of them has to be outside. Next, you have to drink a gallon of water every single day. Yes, you heard that right. 1 gallon.
Which is the hardest part of this entire competition.
So
a lot
tough.
Of water, dude.
I got my 40-ounce tumbler. I got to drink at least 3 of those every day. It's wild.
Got it right here.
You got it. So then you got to follow some sort of diet program. It can be anything that you want it to be, just as long as you're following some sort of program. And there's no cheat meals, no alcohol, and you have to read 10 pages of some sort of self-help book every single day. So all of this. Oh, and you have to take a progress picture.
Can't forget the progress pic.
Yeah, can't forget that, which I almost did the other day. It was like 11:40. I was laying in bed and I was like, crap, I got to take my picture. And I got up and ran to the bathroom and took a picture. But again, you have to do all of those things consistently every single day for 45 days. And so the intent behind it. So Ali Salah just asks, what is
great question
the program? So it's 75 hard. The intent behind it is to grow mental toughness, right? So you set these goals every day of, I'm going to work out twice a day. I'm going to, Joe and his Coors Light. I'm going to, drink a gallon of water, which is a ton of water. I'm going to read a book. And so you just have to set specific times of the day ahead of time that you're going to do those things, or else you're going to be stuck at 11 o'clock at night, sitting on the couch being like, I still got to do another 45-minute workout, or I still got to read my book. So if you're not consistent with it and you're not putting those like plans in place ahead of time, more than likely that you're going to fail. And I think that carries over into the business really well, 100%. Right? If you're not setting goals and landmarks for yourself to achieve, or like setting up when you're going to do something, more than likely you're not going to do it. So it's been really cool for me to go through this program. We just hit day 25 yesterday. We're a third of the way done. Yeah. And I'm really excited to see kind of the progress that we make by the end too.
Yeah. Yeah, I 100% agree. It's more of a mental toughness program than anything else. And I think that mental toughness, for me, the hardest part's been the water. I know it's been that way for you too, Donnie.
Absolutely. 100% been the water.
And so, Donnie, I know that, you're a very goal-oriented person. Let's talk about, how do you set your goals? Do you have a piece of paper that you review every day? What's your process?
Absolutely. So one thing that I learned from a very, very young age was successful people have vision boards. They have post-it notes that they put, everywhere on their fridge, on their bathroom window or mirror. Um, I'm a writer. I'm old school. I love pen to paper. Every morning that I wake up, I write 10 things that I want to get done that day. Every morning they're different. I try to be consistent with them. Sometimes if I'm feeling extra motivated, I write 15 to 20. Sometimes I'll be honest with you, I'm feeling demotivated and I just want to get 5 done today.
Yeah.
And I think it's important to always gauge and adjust your goals based on how you're feeling and how you're performing. A lot of times, the Alex and Adam, talked about the great benefits of setting goals and getting goals, but there can also be a trap and a negative to it. For myself, for a long time, I was setting goals too small so I could be satisfied with the little amount of work that I did that day.
Yeah.
And it took me a really, really long time to be comfortable with the fact that you're not supposed to hit every single goal every single day. You're supposed to aim high so that you fail and you have that negative feeling in your head to say, man, I don't want to fail myself again. I don't want to fail the other people in my life again that I made the commitment to.
Yep.
It's extra motivation. It's negative motivation because these guys did speak, profoundly on positive motivation. You need the negative as well. It's a balance, the yin and yang of it.
What did you feel like, Donnie? Like you had that switch where you started like setting a high goal now and you started failing and you're like, okay,
Absolutely. For the first few weeks of it, that couple of times of failing a goal that I set, I was really hard on myself. It was really demotivating. I'm my own worst critic, I'll be honest with you. And breaking out of not just setting small goals so I can be satisfied with the little amount of work, but also degrading myself instead of uplifting myself, saying, hey, tomorrow's a new day. I might not have, reached this goal today, but I know I can do it tomorrow. Instead of sitting there saying, man, I aim too high. I'm never going to be able to get this goal. I might as well just quit while I'm right here.
Yeah, dude, that's tough. I've kind of fallen into that trap before as well.
Absolutely.
Of like kind of opposite too, of where I've set like massive goals that I get all excited and pumped up and whatever and ready to go. And then day 10 hits or day 2 hits and it's like, dang, I don't know if I can do that. But I think, we've talked about 75 hard and, other goals where it's, that's 75 days of doing something very consistently for a long time. Yeah. But you have to focus on the day. If you focus too far ahead on like, well, shoot, I want to write 20,000 in AP. I've written 200.
Yep.
You get
too
lost
far ahead
in
of
the
yourself
sauce almost, and it's like you want to quit and you want to give up. And so I think it's very important to set daily activity goals, just like what Joe just put in, of just what you can accomplish and what is in your power that you can do. And so for me, I have these key indicators of just activity goals where it's just like, okay, I'm going to make this many dials. I'm going to try to have this many contacts and put in the work that way rather than, I want to write 2,000 AP today because there's going to be days where I make, 100 dials and write 5K in AP. There's going to be a day where I make 100 dials and not make a thing. And so to make sure that you're not getting in your head, it's just, at least for me, it's just like, hey, I can control what I can control. These are my goals. This is what I'm going to go at. And like you said, Alex, not stopping until you reach that benchmark.
Right. Yeah. Just like kind of piggyback what you're saying, right, about the activity goal. I think that's great, man. I set myself activity goals. Every week I have to book at least 15 appointments and get in front of 10. With obviously the referrals that I'm working and the leads that I've been calling to get in front of, I can't even book 15 because there's a lot of people for me to sit down in front of. So I just got to make sure I meet activity goals and then the production will come right with it. I totally agree with you, bro. Yeah.
And to kind of play off what you guys were saying earlier about not looking too far in the future or not setting your goals too high. I've had personal experiences like that. Like I I watch this video and I get all motivated and I'm like, all right, I'm going to wake up at 4 a.m. tomorrow and I'm going to go to the gym. Right. But I've been waking up at 8 or 9 o'clock every single day before
Exactly.
that. So my alarm goes off at 4 a.m. and I'm like, oh, heck no.
Yeah.
So like, I think it's important to set incremental goals that maybe, like what Donnie was saying, maybe you can't achieve those goals on the first day. Right. But making it so that you gradually get to that point and then increasing day after day until you're at where you're at. Right. And I think that's really important. I'm personally working on that, trying to wake up earlier. Right now I get up at about, 6:45, 7, and I like it to be more in the 5 o'clock range, but slowly getting there.
It's all about progress, right?
Right.
And kind of like what Brian Moore said in the comments, it's about mental toughness, because there's that part of you that, you got to make those incremental steps. But at the same time, I mean, last night, I went and played basketball for one of my workouts. I didn't get home till 11. And then my 6-month-old was up all night. I probably got 3 hours of sleep. Yeah. And I knew I had, had a workout buddy that I was supposed to meet at 5:30 in the morning today at the gym. And
that didn't happen.
So I had an accountability partner, and I couldn't be like, I couldn't just not show up.
Yeah.
And so I think an important part about setting goals is having accountability. And so, Alexander, do you have somebody who you are accountable to keep with your goals, or what?
I think he's in chat.
Yeah, I think he's in the chat. Yeah, it's my dad, man. Like I said before in the episode before, he's my mentor. I mean,
he's the man. Shout out Ollie.
Dude,
Shout out,
bro. A lot of respect for him. I'm super grateful. He's taught me a lot in the business, especially when I'm getting down and I don't hit my goal. So I had my best month ever in June, right? And my goal was literally just to write 10K a week. That was just my number one goal. I have to put in the activity to hit 10K a week. There was one time, and it was like the third week of June where I didn't hit it, and he was like, "Dude, what's going on? Why didn't you hit your goal?" And then he jumped right back on my butt. He was like, "Dude, you're gonna do this, this, and this next week, and you're gonna kill even the 10K goal." That last week, I wrote 13K of June, and because he was just sitting there on my tail end, dude. And I'm forever grateful for it, because, dude, he's helped me with my business extremely as well, along with Cody. Yeah, so it's the reps, man. It's just like, keep going, dude. Don't stop. Like, all gas, no brakes, bro.
And one thing I kind of want to piggyback off that. I, have met your dad a couple times. Sorry, I'm getting a little emotional, because your dad is the type of dad that I want to be to my boys.
Oh, 100%.
The type of
you're about to make my dad cry, bro. Hey, you're about to make my dad cry. Get ready, bro.
The amount of belief that he pours into you,
absolutely.
Every single one of us needs that type of person. And so I have that in my wife, Kaylee. She's amazing, man. Like, through the thick of it and the thin of it, she's always been there. She's the one person in my life that I know always has my back. And so, Donnie, do you have somebody in your life that you're accountable to that you felt has had your back?
Oh, absolutely. I have 5 women in my life. I have my mother, my sister, my 3 nieces, and they are my everything. And not only that, but I'm going to be honest, I have you guys. I have so many people that I've met through this industry and through events and opportunities that we all want to see each other grow. And if someone out there is watching and they don't have someone that, believes in them, believe that I believe in you. I don't even have to know your name, and I believe in you. I'm that kind of guy. If you message me and you say, "Hey, I don't have someone holding me accountable," I'll hold you accountable so quick. Ask any of these.
In our group chat, man.
Yeah,
for real.
Team Green Dragons plus Adam plus somebody else. Get in there.
Yes, right. Hey, and real quick plug: if anybody watching this video right now wants to share this on your page, whoever is watching has to be in the Insurance Syndicate group. But we want to reach as many people as possible. We've had pretty good viewership today, but we want to get even more people in here, try and motivate as many people as possible. So if you wouldn't mind sharing or tagging somebody in the comments so they can hop in here, that'd be much appreciated.
We're taking over. Come on, y'all. Help us.
Adam, I know, we're in that group chat together.
Yeah.
How has having accountability partners and buddies helped you to reach your goals and and not give up.
No, honestly, I that's what I was about to buzz in and say. I think without the support of our group, I probably would have given up after like day 2, honestly, just because so
Seriously.
much of it is like a mental game, right? And so having somebody in your corner who supports you and is also doing it alongside you, it just makes it that much easier, knowing that you're not having to do it alone. And like me going to the gym every morning, I've got my assistant going to the gym with me. She lives like right around the corner from the gym. So like I bought the one that allows me to bring a guest. And
Heck
so
yeah.
she just comes with me every morning. And like, even when I'm like headache laying in bed, she's like, "Are we going to the gym?" I'm like, "Yeah, we are." Let's go. So just having anybody, and I mean, it can be a mentor, it can be a spouse, it can be a parent, even your kid, whoever you want it to be. Just have somebody that can hold you accountable, and I guarantee you it will help you to get or achieve what you want much easier than if you were doing it by yourself.
100%. I absolutely agree.
So, Alexander, tell us a little bit about what goals you have. I know you said, you want 200 recruits by the time you're 23. Do you just set goals for your financial side of things, your business side of things, or do you have like spiritual, physical, all these other
That's
goals?
great, bro. And what's up, Lauren? I appreciate you tuning in. We love you. I appreciate it so very much. Thank you
Lauren's
for tuning
comment
in.
right there.
Yeah. Thank you. We love you. But anyway, definitely spiritual goals. Every single day. It's a goal, but I do it because, I want to get closer to the Lord. Is I pray every morning. I pray before every meal, and I'll pray before I go to bed.
Amen.
And that's one goal I have obviously set for myself every single day, to obviously get closer to Him. And every Sunday I'll go to church, right? And another goal I have for myself, Collin, like me and you, we were talking back at the Ultimate Agent actually about it, is every dollar that we get in, we're going to give 10 cents. We're going to give 10 cents to God or some donation, right?
100%.
And my dad's hounding that over me. We're going to make sure that we always give. We always have to give, because you'll get it back tenfold, right?
100%.
And that's something that's really stood away for me, is always, I just got to keep giving, and it'll come back in return.
100%.
Yeah. So tithing to me, that 10% is pretty huge in my life. Yep. I teach my kids about it. And I always say, if you get $1, or I use oranges, for example. Let's say you get 10 oranges, you give one back to the Lord, He'll make a cup of orange juice and give it right back to you. And so it's just one of those things that as you give, you'll always receive back. So don't be afraid to give. So Donnie, I know I've gotten to know you pretty well over the last little bit. I know you do have some pretty big goals, but how has your why behind your goals pushed you to keep going and not give up?
If you don't have a why behind you, you're never going to get anywhere in life. I don't care how much belief you have in yourself, how confident you are, how overly confident you are. There are days that get hard and get demotivating and get challenging, and you only have your why and God to look back on to keep you going. If I talk about them a lot, my sister, my mother, my 3 nieces, if they weren't in my life, there's not a chance in hell I'd go after so tenaciously the things that I do. I'm a very, I'll be honest with you, lazy person, lackadaisical person, laid back. And only because of them am I so tenacious, so outgoing, so ready to go get whatever I'm going after.
Have your why, for sure.
Have your why. And every day it changes. They get a little bit older. The situations in life change. But no matter what, I always go back to them and I say, man, this is the reason I'm doing it. This is the reason that, I'm putting myself in these tough positions where I'm stressed out. And, I don't think I can go forward, because I know one day they're going to look at that and be in the same situation. And they say, if Donald did it, I know I can too.
Yeah. You're changing your family tree for forever.
Forever.
And that's a huge why. My why, I have a lot of different whys, but my main one, I touched on it, last week. My dad passed away when I was 17. He was my biggest cheerleader. He was a lot like Ollie is to Alexander. And so I want to be that person for my son and my, my two sons and future kids, if we have any more, and great grandkids and all that down the line, that it's like, hey, Collin Bingham was, I know him, or, he was my great grandpa, whatever it is. And so when it is a tough morning and I don't want to wake up, or if I'm getting slapped in the face on the doors or on the phones, whatever it is, I think back of, my dad didn't give up. My mom didn't give up. They started a small family farm, and it was tough, man. I mean, I grew up on ramen noodles and chili, canned chili. So it wasn't always easy. But they made it through and they were successful with it. And so when it's tough, I think of them and I look at their example and I keep going. So Adam, have you had somebody in your life that's been an example of that, or want to touch on that?
Yeah, I was just gonna say, to touch on what you were saying about your kids, like a lot of times I think we can have a lot of self-doubt, right? It's really easy for those negative thoughts to creep in and just be like, man, I'm not good enough, or like whatever it is. And for me, having kids, like I can feel really negative, or I'll have a bad day, and then I'll walk into the family room and they'll just be so happy to see me, open arms, like daddy, whatever, right? And they want me to play with them, and they just see me as like this superhero, right? And I'm like, well, why can't I see myself the way that they see me, right? Because in their eyes, right, I provide for them, like I do everything, like I know everything, right? And obviously I don't know everything, but just having that mentality that you can do whatever you put your mind to, or even I can be the person that my daughters believe that I am, right? And I think that's cool. And also I'd like to touch on, my dad was a big influence on me growing up. He's a self-made entrepreneur. He's not in the insurance space, but he started a business probably even before I was born. I'm 26 and he's still going. He's 56 now. And he's been successful at it. And that's kind of what motivated me to get into my own space and, stop working a 9-to-5, was just seeing the success that he's had. And I figured, if he can do it, I can do it. So.
Yeah, 100%. And I want to touch, Brian Moore said, kids will take your drive to another level, but on those days when you're not feeling it, just take a peek at them and it's all good. I promise that's true. You can have the hardest day and then you walk in, and if you have somebody in your life that just is so happy to see all the time, I mean, try to find that person if you don't have that type of person, because I'll have the worst day at work and I'll walk in and, my son Maverick, he's almost 3, and he'll just run up, give me a big old hug, and then he'll just like want to fight and play and just have a good time. So it's just one of those things that I just love. But one of the things that I also wanted to touch on is just the process of well, I kind of want to hound on that. Alexander, so Donnie talked about like he writes stuff on pieces of paper. Alexander, do you have like a vision board, or do you have something that it's just like it's a focus for you so that you don't chase shiny things?
Yeah.
Hey, Alex, also touch on what we learned at SWAT too. Like I know that was a big takeaway for you.
So first thing, I'll go back to when you say backtracking of what you said about when you see someone, or when you're coming home, the support system, you know what it is. Yeah. Even for me, just to touch on that, when I have a crappy day, when I'm down on myself, when I didn't have the day I was supposed to have, I got to give a lot of, because my mom's so back at, even back during the Ultimate Agent, I mean, my mom was always there for me. I know I talked about my dad, even at 8%, right? But my mom was there for me, and I don't give her enough. My mom said, Alex, you don't give me enough recognition. So I needed to get on here, give my mom some recognition, because when I do have a crappy day and I come home, she gives me a big hug. Alex, come here. I love you. You know, even if you didn't have a good day, just know I love you and we're all good. So I love you, Mom. Just had to give her a little shout out there. But
I love Alex's mom too. She's so
Mama
sweet.
Sala, dude, she's the best.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And back to what we were saying though, with the goal thing. So, and same thing for you, Adam. What you had touched on for me is I have in my room is I have this big piece of paper, and it's right. So I have a crucifix right above my mirror, and then right below it I have my paper, and it says that I want to have $150,000 in my bank account by the end of 2023. And that's what I have set in stone, focused right on my mind, right? I have what we did at SWAT, just like what Adam was saying. I have all my goals here that I have at SWAT that I read through every single day, right? 6 months from now, I want to be a top performer at my agency. 6 months from now, to make my first 100K in the insurance industry, have a net worth of 125K plus, and own my own watches.
Oh,
Got to throw in that swag.
got to get the ice on the wrist.
Yeah, man. And it just keeps going forward. So I look at those goals every single day. I even write them down every single day just to put it forth, you know, like look at it, like I'm actually writing this information down to have my mind set and stoned on it. That's really what it is, man.
And I think a lot of it is just having that, like that thought process front of mind, right?
Just like Adam, just like what you said, sorry to cut you off. You can do whatever you put your mind to, man.
Yeah.
Like,
right. And when you're constantly reminding yourself of these goals, it makes it that much easier to think, well, is what I'm doing right now helping me to achieve that goal? Or, you know, is this hindering me from being able to be the best agent in my agency, or hit $100,000 by the end of the year, whatever your goal might be, right? And so it just helps you think and compartmentalize as you work through it to be able to achieve that. I think that's great.
Yeah.
Yep.
Adam, you also attended SWAT. Did you write down your goals? Do you have something that you review to try to keep that at the top of mind?
Yeah. So one thing, let me grab this real quick. So one thing that Nate
SWAT book?
No, I got the blue cards. So I have a whole stack of empty blue cards. So whenever I think of something new, so something about the color blue and writing in blue ink, it just like helps something in the mind. I don't know how it works, but you basically write down not so much a goal, but a thought as if it had already happened, right? So like, I'm grateful that I was able to hit $100,000 by September of 2023. Yeah, something about the subconscious. That's right. And so when you read these to yourself every day, so you read them every morning when you wake up, every night before you go to bed. And so it just keeps it top of mind. And with it in your subconscious, you're implanting it as if it's already happened, right? And so then you're living as if it's happened. And so it just makes it that much easier to actually make it happen, right? And I love that. It's really cool.
That's very interesting.
I love that. I'm gonna have to implement that, because when I write mine down, it's like I will do this by this time, but I think saying it as if it's already happened.
Yeah. And Nate gave some really cool examples of cards that he had at SWAT, and he read one. It was like, I'm grateful for my relationship with Cody Askins and like everything that we've been able to build, and that I got to speak on stage at 8%. And then like that same year, he like developed a relationship with Cody and spoke at 8%, and then it just like grew from there. And that was just one example that he gave, but that was really cool to me, and that stuck in my mind. And Joe gave an example in the comment. I'll bring it up again. So he said, you know, it's nice making 30K for the rest of 2023 every month. Speaking of past tense to help manifest it. And it works. It definitely does work.
It works.
And so I encourage everybody to get some blue cards, you know, get a blue pen, write down some stuff, and just read it to yourself every single day.
SWAT is going to be great.
Yeah. I have a question. This is for any of you three. You know, we've talked about, you know, all the upsides of goals, and, you know, it's as if we're always excited. We're always going. How do you guys get through, like, also the disappointment and the hard times when it's like you feel like you're behind a goal? And let's say, you know, Alexander, you have that 200 recruit goal, and you don't hit that benchmark of like here next year or at the end of the year you have 25, is there a process that you have or a thought, or how do you get through to be like not give up on the main goal, that it's just like, yeah, I'm behind, but I can still hit that one? Like, what do you do in that situation?
Right. Yeah. I think it comes back to what we said in the beginning is our day goals. I think it really is, because what I've set up for myself is every single day, no matter if I'm in the field or in the office, I'm going to take an hour out and recruit. So I'm going to call through all those recruiting leads I have and sit there and call just for an hour. So let's say at the end of the year, I get 20 and not 25, right? I say to myself, did I work hard enough? Did I really work hard enough? And I felt like I did. In my mind, I'll be like, I'm a little satisfied, but I'm not satisfied since I didn't hit my goal. At least I worked hard enough, but I wasn't there. So now I'm going to do this. I'm going to continue to keep doing the same exact thing. But what I really end up doing is I would dial for an hour and a half now, since I'm behind. So every single day I'm going to set up a standalone time to do it for an hour and a half rather than an hour, because I came up short. Right. So now I think when it comes with goals, back to what you were saying, is when you're not hitting your goal, you have to allot more time the following week or the following day to hit that goal. Right. So instead of an hour, we're going to do an hour and a half.
Yeah.
I think that's something that really
got to be more disciplined with that. Right. And Donald,
it's discipline and accountability, man. That's what it all comes back to.
Donald, is there a time in your life that you had a goal that you felt like you were falling behind, but you just kept at it and you were able to achieve it?
Oh, I mean, countless. As you know, I'm goal oriented, and I'm trying to think of a real specific one. Let's take the insurance industry. I've been in here for a year and just a little bit of change, a few months. And my first year, I wanted to do 100,000 in my first year, and that was not realistic. It wasn't realistic for me. It wasn't realistic for the amount of activity that I put in. Not only did I not give myself enough opportunities to learn and grow to get that 100,000, I also didn't push myself enough to go after that 100,000. I could have easily, when I ran out of leads, instead of just sitting there, with, my hands under my butt, I could be knocking on doors. I could have, stood on the side of the highway saying, "Hey, can't afford a billboard, but call me if you need life insurance." I've been thinking about it. I really been thinking
get some cardboard.
Yeah.
Go stand on the corner.
And to kind of piggyback off of what 8% means in and of itself is 92% of insurance agents quit within their first year to 3 years.
Yep.
And it really would have been easy for me to say, man, I had expectations, for my first year in the industry. It didn't go that way. I could have easily just quit and moved on to the next thing. And it was only because of the accountability I had with guys like you, guys like Joshua Young. Shout out. I have actually a picture of me and him on my Instagram. I love Josh.
Yeah, shout out Joshua Youngs. He's the man.
Medicare Machine Factory. Shout out. He helps so many agents. He helps so many clients. He is the machine for sure.
We need to have him on because he's 100%. He's got a story, man. Joshua's the man. So who talk about goals. He's got goals, dude.
He's got goals for sure.
And he chases after him.
I also wanted to add to what Donnie was saying. I think it's so important to track your metrics too, right? If you're really trying to hit a goal, let's say, I want to hit 10 sales, whatever it is. So I need to figure out how many dials it's going to take for me to set enough appointments to get enough sits to make that many sales, right? And really breaking it down. So like, for example, one of our goals as a group here is to try and grow the stream, right? And so we're going to look at the metrics afterwards and look at all the comments, see what kind of feedback people have left. And we're going to say, okay, well, we had a, concurrent last week. I think we sat at about 14 views, 12 to 14 throughout. This time we've been doing better. We've hit, 17, 18 roughly throughout the stream.
21 right now.
So we're going to try and track that, that growth and see where we're at for the next time and see what things worked good, what things didn't work, and see how we can continue to improve that. Because if we're just saying, oh, let's get more people, then it's not really doing anything other than just that little bit of motivation. You have to actually track the metrics and figure out what's working and what's not.
So good, Adam. Just to touch on that, man, when we think about growing the syndicate or the Friday Fuel, and the syndicate, I mean, Joe and Tony, like we said, but we're grateful for both of you guys, letting us do this. For me, one goal I have is I have a social media goal, and my goal is to put out at least 4 things of content every single day, whether that's a video I'm reposting, a video myself, a picture of me doing something stupid, whatever it is, or in the business. That's one goal I have for myself. And another goal I have for myself is coming up on Wednesday, Thursday. I promote the syndicate on Wednesday and Thursday for Friday Fuel so we can get more people, right?
Yep.
Talk about promoting the Friday Fuel. That's one thing that I stand away to do for us and to grow this,
Yep. One thing that I kind of wanted to end on is for me, we've touched on it. Accountability is the biggest thing. So I wanted to put out my goals because these guys don't know this. I've probably tried 75 hard, legit, probably 20 times. Keyword try.
I did not know that.
Right.
I did not know that either, dude.
I've tried it so many times, and I failed legit every single time.
Wow.
And so it's been this mental game of just like, keep going. The furthest I made it was like 32 days. We're on day 26 right now. But this is also the first time that I have accountability partners, and then I put it out on social media. So putting it out on social media, like what Alexander was saying, is huge.
That's what I'm saying, man.
Because you have 600 people or 1,000 people or however many people you're connected with on there that you're now accountable to, because if you fail, they're going to throw it right back in your face. At least that's what I'm telling myself when I don't want to, go for a walk at 11 o'clock at night because I didn't do my outdoor workout yet. Right. So I'm just going to throw out my goals. And if you guys want to put your goals in the chat too, and then we can wrap it up and you guys can have a great rest of your Friday. My spiritual, I'm right there with Alexander. I want to pray and study the word of God every day. Been doing that. I'm down 10 pounds so far with 75 hard. I want to lose another 20.
Bro.
So I'm on track. With my family, I want to be present and I don't have my phone at home, or I set it in a little basket right when I get home, so that when I'm home with my kids and my wife.
No wonder you never answered our text messages.
And then financial, my biggest open enrollment was 220 accounts. I want to do 300 accounts this year during AP with another 20K in life premium as well. So we'll follow up in December, see how those go. But
all right.
Probably like another 10K in HIs, bro.
Yes. Got to throw those in there. So, but we appreciate you guys for hopping on. We're so grateful for the support. We're grateful for Joe and Tony and the Medicare Machine Factory.
Yes, sir.
And all you guys. This wouldn't be possible without all of you. So again, just wrapping it up. Have a great Friday and go kill it.
See y'all next Friday. Let's go.
See ya.